It's one of the great stories of leadership and endurance in the history of exploration. Ernest Shackleton led 28 men on an expedition to the South Pole in 1914 on a ship, ironically enough, called Endurance. The ship got trapped in sea ice, then crushed somewhere inside the Antarctic Circle. It was Shackleton's leadership that got those 28 men to safety over 3 years later. Inside the cover of Shackleton's biography, the author of the biography wrote these words: "For scientific discovery, give me Scott. For speed and efficiency of travel, give me Amundsen. But when your back is against the wall, all hope is lost, get down on your knees and pray for Shackleton." Sometimes leadership is a life and death issue, but leadership is always relational. Leadership, by definition, involves a relationship between a leader and at least one other person. There's an old Chinese proverb: he who thinks he is leading but has no one following is merely taking a walk. Leaders swim in the bathwater of healthy relationships. Leadership is effective to the extent to which they get along with people. Leadership is people work. So since leadership is relational, let's see 10 things you should know about leadership using relational as an acronym. So first, leadership is resolution oriented. That's the R of relational. I heard of a pastor who would tell the deacons in his church, "You always carry around 2 buckets. One is filled with water, the other is filled with gasoline. And every time you come across a wee fire in the organization, a complaint, a criticism, a dispute, a conflict, grumbling, you will either dump water on the fire and get things resolved, or you'll pour gasoline on the fire and make it worse. If you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem." A leader knows every problem has a solution. A problem without a solution isn't a problem, it's a fact. A leader is a problem seeker and a solution finder. A leader does not get discouraged by problems and difficulties. He understands that leaders exist only because of problems. If there were no problems, there would be no need for leaders. Put another way, a leader doesn't curse the darkness, he lights a candle in the darkness. A leader doesn't complain about the way things are, she seeks to help make them what they should be. A leader defines reality. A leader's not afraid of reality. A leader identifies problems, clearly defines problems, understands problems, then finds solutions to those problems. My old math teacher in high school always told us, when you read the problem on the exam, read it and read it and read it again. And when you think you understand the problem, read it one more time, because you cannot answer the problem if you do not understand the problem. Leadership understands problems and finds solutions. Leadership is a solution finder. She or he is resolution oriented. That's the R of relational leadership, resolution oriented. Second, leadership is everything. That's the E of relational. When I was a kid growing up in Belfast, I used to watch the tide come in and out, and it was fascinating to watch the water level in the harbor go up and down. Rising tide would raise all the boats in the harbor. Leadership is the high water mark in any organization. The values in an organization are embodied in the lives of the leaders. A commitment to excellence in the organization flows down from a commitment to excellence in the leaders. Positive outlook on life will trickle down from the positive outlook in the lives of its leadership. The spiritual maturity in a church will be determined by the spiritual maturity of the leadership. The faith risks that are embodied in the organization will be set by the faith risk in the lives of the leadership. If the leaders in an organization do not care about quality or cleanliness or tidiness, neither will its people. People will rise or fall to the level set by the leadership. Leadership is everything. Third, leadership leads. That's the L of relational leadership. Leadership leads. I admire traffic cops. They are the road version of air traffic controllers. Traffic cops are highly skilled. They keep things moving. They give clear direction. And most importantly, nobody gets hurt when a good traffic cop is on duty giving leadership in a busy intersection. Traffic cops are leaders because they lead. Just because a person is in a position of leadership doesn't mean he's leading. Sometimes good people find themselves in positions of leadership when they're not cut out to be a leader. Imagine putting a child into the busiest intersection in the city to direct the traffic. A good person in a position of leadership who isn't a leader is like assigning a child to direct traffic in a busy intersection. The result is a lot of confusion, a lot of insecurity, a lot of frustration, and worse, people start getting hurt. Good leaders lead like good traffic cops. A couple of things to notice about a good traffic cop. Number one, a good traffic cop knows what he or she is doing. He or she has a plan. Good leaders have a plan. Secondly, good traffic cops are clear. Their instruction is simple and clearly understood. A leader may not always be right, but they need to be clear. Third, a good traffic cop is absolutely necessary, is absolutely essential, as is good leadership in any organization. Where there is no direction, no leadership at a busy intersection with broken traffic lights, you have chaos. And when there is no leadership, no strong leadership in an organization, there is chaos. Where there is leadership, there is order and progress and movement. Almost everybody wants to be well led. Leaders lead.